Hello, today we're going to do Module 6, Lesson 4. Our objective is that we're going to solve 1 and 2 step problems involving graphs. So we're going to use graphs to help us answer questions. Now remember, notice that this note over here says that templates are needed for this lesson. They are attached to your homework and you already have them. You should have a graph that's already made and a blank graph template. Alright, first things first, this is called a plot graph. So instead of using lines or bars, we're using X's to plot. Okay? Now, just by looking at this, you notice that you need to check out the scale. What is our scale? What is each X worth? Each X is worth only one child, so that means that we're going to count. We don't have to skip count. We don't have to multiply. We can just count. Okay, so number of children. This whole graph is about. Oh, look, this is for 2, this is 3, this is 4. That got off, so don't worry about that one. Okay, the number of children, this whole graph is about the number of children in 3rd grade families. So basically a class was polled and they asked how many people are in their, or how many children are in their families. And all the people that were polled were 3rd graders. So this is how they gathered the data and they plotted it for us to see the results. So that being said, most students have how many children in their family? Well, you should be able to see easily. Most students have 2 children in their family. On your notes behind one of those templates, write a number sentence that would show how many more 3rd graders have 2 children in their family than 3 children in their family. So write me a number sentence. So if I'm going to be doing that, I'm going to first count to see how many children have 2. Or how many 3rd grade families have 2 children? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many more do they have? Well, I know I'm going to be taking that away because I want to find out what the difference is. Now, I can easily just look at the picture and see, well, that's probably 3. But let's do a number sentence, 2, to show our work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 have 3 children. Okay, 9 take away 6 is 3. So this is our number sentence. I didn't ask you for a statement, I only asked you for a number sentence. Now this time write me a number sentence to show how many 3rd graders have 3 or 4 children in their family. So we already know 3, 6, 3 or 4. So I want to know how many people are this and how many people are this. Okay, there's 2 for the 4. 6 plus 2 is 8. I didn't want a number sentence or a statement, I just want a number sentence this time. So here's my number sentence to tell me how many have 3 or 4 in their families. Okay, now please take out your template that is titled Number of Minutes Spent Practicing Piano. If you're going to notice over here, I'm going to have to make this. So this one right here says Ryan. This one says Carrie. This one says, Brian. And this one over here is Liz. These are the kids who are practicing the piano. Now this is my scale. This is my number of minutes. So here's 0. They counted by tens. Okay. Now, Ryan practiced this many minutes. Oh my goodness, it's hard to draw this nicely. This is colored in. This is Ryan's. Carrie did this. Brian did this. Let's see that on your graph. Okay, and Liz did this. All right. Now, judging from this, Can you tell me who practiced the most? Right off the bat, you can see Brian practiced the most. Who practiced the least amount of time? Liz did. Okay, now I noticed something with Ryan that I really want to pay attention to. Ryan didn't get all the way to this line. He's halfway through. So if I look at this, I'm going to change my color from black. Let's do red. Okay, if I look at this, I know I'm going to look halfway all the way down. Well, that's very crooked halfway. Okay. Halfway between 30 and 40 is what? Well, what's halfway between 0 and 10? 5, right? So halfway between 30 and 40 is going to be 35. So how many minutes did Ryan practice? Ryan practiced 35 minutes. I can show that even if he doesn't practice a whole scale unit. We can mark it. Remember when we did that with the hearts? Half a heart was one student and the whole heart meant 2. Okay, now when you can't mark the whole thing, then you need to find a way to mark the half. Now, write me a number sentence to show how much longer Brian practiced than Carrie. So Brian practiced how many? 60 minutes. Carrie practiced 40 minutes. 60 take away 40 is 20. So Brian practiced 20 more minutes than Carrie. Did everyone want a statement? No, I just wanted a number sentence. Okay, now, write me a number sentence to show how many total minutes Carrie and Liz spent practicing. So I'm looking at Carrie, I'm looking at Liz. Well, Liz practiced 20 minutes. Carrie practiced 40 minutes. 20 plus 40 is 60 minutes, so 1 hour. Okay, now, I want you to take a look at this. On the back of one of your templates, you're going to be writing these notes, but we're going to be using this table to help us with the next graph. But before we can do the graph, we need to do some other things. So my graph, or my table, has my data. I've got different insects. This is honeybee, beetle, fly, mosquito. This is the number of wing vibrations each second. So this sounds to me like this is how many times they can beat their wings per second. A honeybee beats it 350 times per second. Whoa. But I'm noticing that it has a B and an M. A fly, 550 times per second. That is so many times to beat your wings. But we have some holes. We're going to have to fill in our table before we can do our graph. Okay. So, here are the following clues to help us fill in the B and the M. The beetle's number of wing vibrations is the same as the difference between the fly and the honeybee. Honeybee. Okay, between the fly and the honeybee. We know those two, and that would tell us the beetle. Okay, so fly and the honeybee. So that means I'm going to take the difference, which means I'm going to subtract. Okay, so subtract. 5 take away 3 is 2. So the beetle is the exact difference between the fly and the honeybee. So now instead of putting a B, I can change B to 200. Okay? Now, the mosquito. The mosquito's number of wing vibrations is the same as 50, this is for the mosquito, 50 less than the beetle and the flies combined. Then the beetle and the flies combined. Okay, combo. Okay, so first we got to find out what the beetle and the fly is combined. Okay, so the fly and the beetle. So I'm going to have to do 550 for the fly. Now I'm combining them, so I'm going to add 5 plus 2 is 7. But then it's 50 less. So 50 less, I can do that in my head, but since I have to show my work, I'm just going to do this. I already know what it is, so I can just do this. So the mosquito is 700. Great, we figured it out. Now that being said, now we can take this data and we can put this in our graph. So take out your other graph, your blank graph template, and let's do it. Okay, so here we go. Our graph template. I want to make sure that my graph template looks like your graph template real quick. Oh, we've got all kinds of extra spaces. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can redo this table. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Okay, check this out. Check what I can do. This is pretty cool. And use this, my pointer. Here's the page I want. Here's my table. I don't want that table anymore. Oops. Okay, I can go up here to tables. This one wanted 8. And I'm just going to go, I got to count on your template to see how many to go across. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I can only go to 10. Then I'm going to pick the one that I like. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm ready to rock and roll. So I go to home and play. Isn't that cool? I can fix it on the fly. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Hey, hey. Now I am one column short here. So I'm going to draw this one column over here. Whoops. Well, look. That being said, I could fix that too. Okay. Now, this one I'm going to highlight. I want to highlight this whole thing. I right click. I can insert columns to the right. That gives me 11. Now I'm ready to rock and roll. Okay, from the current slide. Okay, great. Now, we need to fill in our items. What do we need? Well, we do not have a title. Let's start with a title. What are we writing? What are we going to show the graph about? We're going to show the number of wing vibrations per second. Okay, there's our title. Now, what insects are we using? Looks to me like we're going to do every other one. So this one is going to be honeybee. So let's write honeybee over here. Honeybee. Skip one. Let's do beetle here. Skip one so we have some space. Let's do fly here. And let's do mosquito. I'm skipping one. Mosquito. So what are these? These are insects. I'm trying to write sideways. These are our insects. Okay, so here's our scale. What are we doing? This is what would be our number of wing vibrations. Okay, so we need to write our scale. Now we've labeled everything, but we don't have a scale. Okay, so I know the honeybee had, I'm going to just write this over here so we can remember, 350. The beetle had 200. The fly had 550, and the mosquito had 700. Okay, now normally you wouldn't write these numbers here, but I'm writing them here because I want to be able to refer back. Okay, so do I want to go by tens? If I do by tens, I'm going to need a lot of squares. This is all the squares I have. So what else could we do? We could do it by 50. We could. Could we do it by 100? Let's do it by 100. We can. We have to get all the way up to 700. Okay, so if we start here at 0, we do this as 100, we could do this as 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, and then we have some extras, so we could even go higher. In fact, we might want to just label them. Oh, that's not 800. 800, 900, 1,000. Oh, this would be 1,100, just in case we'd ever go that. Okay, the honeybee, we got to start marking it. 350. Okay, well, here's 300, here's 400. 50 falls halfway between. So that tells me I have to mark halfway here. And then I mark my lines and shade in. Okay, now the beetle. The beetle has 200. Okay, so I'm looking for the 200 line. I mark it here, draw my side lines, shade it in. Okay, my fly has 550. Ooh, that's going to be in the middle again. Well, here's 500, here's 600. That tells me 550 is going to be right in the middle. So I draw my middle line right here. Draw your side lines. Shade them in. My computer to catch up with me. Moving too fast. Alright, here we go. Now the mosquito. Mosquito was 700. So we can move it clear over here. Be careful not to mark on your... Whoops. I'm on the wrong line. Yes, even Mrs. Corlett makes mistakes. Imagine that, a teacher making mistakes. Seems like I make a mistake every day. Okay, 700, try it again. Over here. Here we go. Fixed my mistake. Aha. Alrighty, shade it in. There we go. Now we've got our graph. That's a great graph. What a cool thing to graph the number of vibrations per second of an insect. That's just so cool. Alright, now, which one has the fastest wings? Fastest wings means more vibrations, so that would be the mosquito. Which one has the slowest wings? A beetle. Wow. How much slower is the beetle's wings than the mosquito's wings? Well, let's find that out. Oh, I need a pencil. I'm going to change to blue. Okay, slower wings than mosquito. Okay, so mosquito's wings are 700 vibrations per second. The beetle is 200 vibrations per second. So how much slower is the beetle? It is 500 wing vibrations per second. Whoa. Wing vibrations per second. Goodness gracious. All right. Now, what if I wanted to find out how fast, how many wing vibrations per second would be happening if I had a fly and a mosquito to watch all at the same time? So let's say we have them both on a fly swatter or something, and we're watching them and counting. It'd be so hard to count. They must have had to do a slow motion camera. All right, a fly. Let's find out how fast. I want to know how many wing vibrations are happening on that fly swatter all at the same time. So a fly has 550. A mosquito has 700. What's my total? 7 plus 5 is 12. Whoa, on my fly swatter, I've got 1,250 wing vibrations happening each second I watch. Isn't that amazing? That is so neat. All right, well, good luck with your homework. I will see you soon.